Whenever I execute workshops for various clients, very often I have come across managers who are really trying to struggle to have profitable returns from their organizations or their functions. When I talk to them, I realize that there is a fundamental lack of understanding of economics, which then impacts business. So what I'll try to do is that try to connect between economics and business today as it is practiced, because a lot of things have undergone significant change in the world of business. Nowadays, if you tune on to any TV channel, any business paper or magazine, you cannot miss a few things. First is current account deficit. The other is forex fluctuations. The third is inflation. The fourth is WPI, the wholesale price index, and the retail price index, consumer price index. The need for import substitution as being spoken of by any economist today, and therefore this going to the need for developing more and more R&D. Most likelihood, if you look at your home today, there will be between the television and the various consumer appliances, say a television or a fridge or a computer or a tablet or anything that you have, or a television or a broadband modem, you'll see that most likelihood you'll see some of these being manufactured in some other countries and being used by you now. The concept of business has changed substantially, because all of these forces have impacted the otherwise simple equation of business, which was profit is equal to revenue minus cost. And this cost used to be, and revenue used to be broken up into price into quantity, minus cost used to be broken into variable cost into quantity minus fixed cost. Fundamentally, this equation gets challenged nowadays. What now happens is that the impact of global supply chains, global technology, and the finance availability, the global finance availability, has changed this fundamental classical equation, which used to work harmlessly in an environment where there was only domestic constraint, and the competitive atmosphere was one which was not so global in nature, but it was highly domestic. However, all of these are global now. The supply chain, the technology, the finance, the competitive environment, all of these are totally global. So how does this impact? So let me help you understand it in a manner which is closer to your work. So if you look at a classical profit and loss statement of a company, how does this work? First we see revenue. Now revenue of an organization gets impacted by global competition. Increasingly, managers are being aware that the products in China or South Korea are of better technology and at times lesser in cost. So the global competition hits your revenue, because you will sell more, sell less, given the constraints of technology. The agreements of WTO, which countries sign on, so that there's a free trade agreements, trade without barriers. When these kind of agreements get signed, automatically you will see all types of products into your country. So you might have a Haier refrigerator, an Electrolux refrigerator, you might have a refrigerator by Hitachi, you might have a refrigerator by Kelvinator. Different companies will start making the same old product, and it's absolutely a global environment that you face. The next comes cost. Revenue minus cost in the profit and loss. And when we say cost gets impacted because your raw materials, if they are uh, commodities which are available globally, they come under pressure due to the various exchanges. The exchanges then determines the prices of the raw materials, and when exchanges, the London Metal Exchange or the New York exchanges start determining, the commodity exchanges, when they start determining the price of your raw material, and if your domestic price is higher than the price at which the globally it is available, then you need to look at your raw material supply chain strategies. Also, the moment it is with exchanges, there is another thing which happens, which is fluctuation of prices. So how best are you handling the fluctuation of prices of your raw materials, which directly impact the cost? Also, if the factory in some other country is far more has exploited the economies to scale in a far better manner than you, or than your organization, or if their labor is far more productive than your organization, you have another system out here. You will automatically, your organization will automatically be subjected to higher cost and therefore become non-competitive. Now, revenue minus cost minus depreciation minus interest. Now, depreciation is typically a tax-based calculation, so it's for the taxation, not much here. But again, inflation, the consumer price, retail price index and all, and the inflation directly impacts the interest rate that you are going to pay. So therefore, if the inflation is high, the interest that you pay goes higher. Now, when this happens, this substantially dents your profits, because when you do all these subtraction, you actually get the profit that you are making. So while in revenue minus cost terms you might have some profits here, but further down, a hike in interest rates can erode your profits totally. What is inflation dependent on? Inflation is again dependent on the basket of goods concept, and therefore how you are measuring that, how your economy is measuring that, and the availability of those goods, and the ease of availability. All of these are linked to inflation. So when we are looking at inflation, also remember that if you have things which are dependent on if you're importing some raw materials out here, then you also have the risk of forex fluctuation out here. If you're selling globally, if the forex fluctuates positively for you, the revenue goes up. If it fluctuates negatively, the revenue goes down. As a result of all these things, it's become very important for organizations to start looking at economics and business, and managers should start understanding the economics and business and understand very clearly as to how does all of this impact the working capital, impact the profitability, impact the cost, and impact the revenues. Without this understanding, you'll time and again have managers who are working hard but not achieving results. So if you want to work hard as well as achieve the results that you desire, you cannot today ignore the economic reality, and which has significantly impacted businesses worldwide. Is this only in India? No. It's absolutely global in nature. Every country worldwide is facing this, and managers have to get used to this particular reality, which is also known as another form of complexity and uncertainty.